Hi guys, in this video we're going to look at sessions traded in the Forex market. So let's take a good look at which sessions we have. We have 4 sessions that are heavily traded in the Forex market. These are the Sydney sessions, the Tokyo sessions, London session and the New York session. Now these sessions run at different times of the day all across the world, so Forex is run worldwide. So let's take a look at what this means further. In this video, we're going to see which sessions are run at different times, so let's break this down. So there are 4 main trading sessions within the opening or closing hours based on the biggest financial centers. It starts with the Sydney session. Now this opens at 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. So roughly within that time, the time difference is due to winter and summer months, so it's an hour's time difference either way. And the close time is 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. So when this closes, let's take a look at which session opens next. So we've then got the Tokyo session. So going clockwise, we've got Sydney, we've got the Tokyo. That opens at 11 p.m. It closes at 8 a.m. So the Sydney and Tokyo sessions are run in the night. All across the world, so depending on your time zone, the Sydney and Tokyo session will run within the night period. The Sydney session is run at a specific time in the night, as well as the Tokyo session. So what this means is there's an overlap of this session and this session. So the Sydney session comes on first at 9 p.m. but the Tokyo session will be joined by the Sydney session at 11 p.m. So what we want to do is we want to see what Sydney pairs, such as Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, and what Tokyo pairs, such as the Japanese yen, so perhaps NZD JPY or AUD JPY or AUD NZD. We want to see what pairs are correlating at that specific time. Following this, we've got the London session. So this is going to be this session here. This opens at 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. in the morning. The close time for the London session is going to be 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Again, the hour difference does apply. Now, when the London session opens, the London session is the only session that is running up until midday. It is joined by the New York session, which is your US session, and this is open at 12 midday to 1 midday. It closes at 9 till 10 p.m. So what that means is there's an overlap between the midday period all the way up until 5 p.m. when the London session and the New York session will be overlapping and running together. Between these 2 sessions, London and New York, you will have the highest liquidity in the market to trade. So these will be the ones where you can secure major pips out of the market. So all pairs like USD, CAD, USD, CHF, GBP, USD especially, Euro USD, which are the 2 main players in the market. They're the 2 majors in the market. You want to look at all correlating GBP pairs against the US dollar. So those are ones to look out for. It then reverts back to the Sydney session. So it's a whole cycle. It's 1 Sydney session, 2 Tokyo session, 3 London session, 4 New York session. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so what I want you to understand is time is money. So for this reason, in the 24-hour Forex market, timing is critical. Good timing produces good profits, yes, but which are the best hours or times to trade? So we need to have a look at which are the best hours or times to trade. So what this means is volume and volatility, because they reach their peak during these hours. During this time, the market is busy with active participants. Currencies move very quickly, and the most important economic news is also published in this time period. Volume means that a large number of lots are sold and bought for a particular currency pair, while volatility means that the price moves at a great speed. Volume and volatility during power hours work like a gasoline and a spark of fire, in a good way though. What's more, they may cause large movements in almost all currency pairs. So we want to look at pairs that correlate with each other, like I said, GBP USD, Euro USD, AUD JPY. So we want to look at those within our overlap periods. We call this the hot zone, so that's between 1 p.m. GMT hours and 4 p.m. GMT hours, and that's the time when London and New York sessions will overlap. So let's have a look at which currencies we should trade within these sessions. Okay, so the currencies that you can trade because of their high activity and large volume movements are as follows. We've got Euro USD, we've got USD CAD, we've got GBP CAD, GBP JPY, GBP USD, USD CHF, and GBP CHF. So you can see it's GBP versus the US dollar, as well as USD versus the pound. So now that we've looked at the major currencies to trade, let's look at the characteristics of each of the trading sessions in turn. So let's have a look at the Asian session. So the Asian session is a session that is run between 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. So the Asian session begins with the Sydney session, open at 10 p.m. GMT hours, and it ends with the Tokyo close at 8 a.m. GMT hours. So Japan is the world's third largest forex trading center, and even though we call it the Tokyo session, this is not the only busy forex hub during this period. Hong Kong, Singapore, Sydney are active players here too. The most traded currency is the yen, of course, covering 16.5% of all forex transactions, so that's quite a huge amount. So let's have a look at the main features of the Tokyo session. So the main features are, it's approximately 21% of forex transactions that are carried out here. Liquidity, for example, currency sold without causing significant price movements, can be quite thin at times. And because of this thin liquidity, so little liquidity in the market, well, most currency pairs will trade within a range. So range means consolidation. So this means when prices moving together slowly in a consolidation region and it's clustered together, that's when we don't want to get in on any trades. So especially if there's a big move in the preceding New York session. So we will wait for the New York session to get in on any trades. So most activity takes place at the beginning of the session, as this is when the economic news is released. As during Asian session, economic news from Australia, New Zealand and Japan come out, you will most likely see stronger moves in pairs that contain JPY, AUD and NZD. So that's quite straightforward. All that means is with the Asian session, we're going to look for pairs that are correlating, such as JPY pairs, AUD pairs, NZD pairs. We're not looking at any pairs such as GBP USD, as that session has not begun yet. So we're waiting for the morning hours to trade the further sessions that are for major liquidity. So let's move on. So we've got the London session. So the London session opens at 8 a.m. in the morning, closing at 4 p.m. So the London session is considered the capital of Forex, and although there are several financial centres all around Europe, it is a London session that attracts the main interest as a key financial centre. It's no wonder, because the London session has a huge trading volume. Over 32% of all Forex transactions are carried out here. It has high liquidity, is the period with the most market uptrends and downtrends. It has lower spreads, volatility. For example, overall price fluctuations slows down a bit in the middle of the London period, for the simple reason that most traders are off for lunch until the New York trading session starts. So as I've said, the London session, it has high liquidity, but not as much as the New York and London overlap, which hits us about midday 12 GMT hours. So market trends may at times reverse just before the session ends, as European traders decide to lock their profits. So everybody will be locking their profits in on the New York-London overlap between the hours of midday to the hours of 4 to 5 p.m. So that's when you'll see major trade movement, and after around 5 p.m. you'll see the market start to slow down, whilst the Asian session is settling in around 10 to 11 p.m. Okay, so we've then got the New York session. As I've said, this starts around midday, so around 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. So the New York session is run. So when the London session traders come back from lunch, so around midday, the New York US session starts. Features that mark the US sessions are as follows. So we've got roughly around 19% of all Forex transactions that are carried out here. Big market moving potential. 85% of trades involve the US dollar. So high liquidity in the morning hours when it overlaps the London session. The most economic news reports are released at the beginning of the session. So a lot of news and a lot of data is released, a lot of speeches, conferences in the US are held within the London and New York overlap. So we want to watch out here to see if any economic news is going to hit our trades. And we either want to trade this if we know how, or we want to avoid this until the news is settled. So following this, we've got liquidity and volatility decreasing because of the afternoon hours. As I've said, past 4 or 5 p.m., we'll see a very, very dramatic slowdown within the market. It's when traders take their profits, leave, and get ready for the next day. Okay, and then there is little movement on Friday afternoon. So Friday afternoons are not great for trading. It's when traders are going to end their trading week, taking their profits, withdrawing money, getting ready for the weekend. It's a slow afternoon Friday. So high chances of trend reversals in the second half of the day. Yeah. So a lot of traders don't trade on Fridays simply for the reason that there's a lack of volatility and liquidity within the market. So traders don't want to be in a trade when the trend is going to reverse. So it's something that we should watch out for as well. So let's take a look at this. So the beauty of Forex, amongst other things, is that you can do it anywhere at any time, and you're free to choose your own trading style. This means that you can trade according to your individual personality, knowledge, and risk tolerance. So it means you can keep an eye on your trades, place your take profits, place your stop losses, use a marble to trade. These days it's very easy to set up. So it's just dependent on your mindset, and we will cover mindset videos later down the line.